Hey Divine Creators, in this video I want to answer some basic questions regarding how long it'll take to manifest something and what the process of manifestation looks like and how to know whether or not you're on the right track. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time. My name is Jason and I make videos to help you discover the infinite potential within to create the life of abundance, joy, love, fulfillment, and well-being that you truly deserve. If you like content like that, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button and also tap on the notification bell so that you can be notified when new videos come out. So this really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Whether you're looking to manifest money, a relationship, growing taller, rejuvenation, or healing, we all want to know when things are going to manifest. The first rule of manifesting is you don't talk about it. And the second rule of manifesting is
you do not talk about...
Oh, I think that was a movie I watched. All joking aside, in a way, the first rule of manifesting is you have to trust. It's completely natural for us, including me, till this day, to want to continuously check and see if our manifestation is happening. For example, if you're working on growing taller, you may have the urge to check if you've grown once, twice, 3 times a day, week, in an hour, or if you're working on getting rid of a wrinkle or pain or imbalance in your body, you may go look in the mirror several times a day to see if it's working, or keep moving or touching the part of the body that you're working on healing to see if it still hurts. Or the classic one that I've been doing for years when I meditate on manifesting more money. I'll keep checking my emails to see if anyone has sent me a request for a trial lesson, or checking my crypto portfolio to see if a certain coin has gone up, etc., etc. And every single time I get into this obsessive habit of needing to check and see if results are manifesting, things really don't manifest. The reason why this happens is when we're continuously checking to see if what we want has manifested, it typically comes from a result of not having enough faith or trust that the universe will bring us our manifestation in its own way. We're checking to see if our meditations are working, which indicates that we don't trust that the time and effort, and most importantly, our focus and energy that we put into our meditations is actually doing something. Especially when you don't have much experience with conscious manifestation, this is usually the most common pitfall. We want validation that we're on the right track, but usually though, when we first start out, the need to check comes from a place of doubt. And so when you go and check to see if whatever you're working on is manifested, in your mind, you're already leaning towards the idea that it's probably not working. And so when you go to check in the mirror to see if you're taller, or you check your bank account to see if you got a payment, you'll see evidence that, yes, you were right all along. Law of attraction is bogus, and there's no such thing as creating reality with your thoughts. And you really are crazy for listening to that guy on YouTube.
You're crazy. I like you.
And the worst part about this situation is that after this happens, you become discouraged for a few days or weeks, sometimes even longer, until you finally come to the realization that you really do want this to work. And you really do believe that there's something beyond physicality and that you want to give it another shot and promise to be better this time. This is something that everyone goes through. I even go through it sometimes when I'm working on manifesting something new that I've never done before, but the cycles between the doubt and the resolve to continue full force with determination and confidence become shorter and shorter. When you first start off, the doubt may last a few days or weeks, but for me, now those periods of time last at most a few hours, and I'm always aware of those times, and I know that I'll get through them. You'll come to an understanding sooner or later that it doesn't matter what you're working on manifesting. It's all energy, and the process is exactly the same. If you could make it a habit to allow yourself to imagine whatever it is you want to manifest for the sole purpose of feeling emotionally coherent in a state of gratitude or love or fulfillment, and that being in that space or in that visualization and imagining yourself already having your manifestation just feels so good that in that space you don't need anything else because you already feel whole. Then you've got it. That's the feeling place of where you want to be. And when you're in that space, you'll start to attract to yourself first other thoughts and ideas that'll feed that space and increase or magnify that feeling. You'll begin to attract other ways to get into that feeling space where it gets easier and easier for you to feel that way and easier to visualize and imagine that which you're working on and holding the knowingness that it's already manifested. And once you're able to do that better and better and better, you'll begin to see physical signs of your manifestation coming into your reality. It may manifest first as a friend mentioning something to you about how you look taller or younger, or coming across something on the internet that gives you confidence or more faith that your manifestation is beginning to materialize or align itself with you physically. When I first started out meditating to attract more business for my music school, I would first get a random person, like a friend or a student of mine, telling me that one of their friends was looking for a music teacher. That almost always never turned out to be anything, but it was always a sign to me that things were beginning to move. Next, I would almost always get an email inquiry from a potential student, which almost always didn't lead to anywhere either. At this point, it's really easy to get discouraged and start doubting the mechanics of conscious creation and tell yourself that it actually doesn't work and is just some sort of mental trickery that you're performing on yourself. But for me, I always took it as it actually working as things began to manifest and reveal itself physically in my life. Remember, it takes time for you to mold your thoughts and beliefs to be consistent all the time. So it's very natural to experience a process like this when you're first starting out on your adventures of manifesting reality. You don't go from not believing it works or semi-believing it works to fully believing in a short period of time, unless you're spending most of your day in meditation, visualizing and feeling the reality you want to create rather than observing the reality you're currently experiencing. If you just hang on a bit past this point where you might feel the universe is just taunting you with dead-end results and instead continue to see how these are actually signs that the universe is bringing to you the things you want, your manifestation will be right around the corner. For me, in the beginning stages, especially with manifesting more business for my music school, the process was almost identical every time. And each time I would commit myself to meditating on more students, practically every time the first couple leads would go nowhere, but then students would start trickling in, and then the trickle would turn into a steady flow, and sometimes it would turn into a flood, at which point I would stop meditating, and then as the flow of students came in the same rate, for slowly and then quickly, the number of students coming in would drop off in the same manner, little by little, until I stopped hearing from new students. And then eventually I would stop meditating altogether and I would start losing students, and then I'd start the process all over again. It's important to understand that you have to be able to imagine your desired reality nearly every time you think about that subject. It's not easy to do, but it is doable with practice. And the more you practice and the more you get results, the more faith and confidence you'll have and the faster things will manifest. This goes for healing or growing taller or rejuvenating or anything, because everything is energy. In the beginning, when I first began meditating on increasing my height, I would check results every day, and every time I didn't see any results, I would feel doubtful and sometimes depressed. Then I decided to not check my height for a while, and then about a month later, I would measure myself and I would see that I grew just a bit. But then immediately go into doubt and think that I measured myself incorrectly and that I was crazy for thinking that I could grow after modern science said it was impossible. Then I would measure myself again and I would find that I went back to my original height. And then the whole cycle would begin again, where I just went all in and felt like I had nothing to lose, and I would just tell myself, just for this next week or month, I'm gonna just believe that I'm taller, and then I would go and measure myself and I'll find that I grew and that I wasn't imagining things the first time. This process continued for 6 whole years. Damn! I would grow a bit, shrink a bit because I was doubting, and then regain my faith and grow back what I shrunk, and then continue to grow a bit and then shrink a bit. It was like taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back every time. But that is the process of retraining your mind to think outside of the mental box we've all been put in. This happens for Airbnb bookings. I'll get an inquiry or two and it won't be the right one, and then once I have my flow intact, boom, the perfect guest books my place. After doing this since 2009, the process is much, much, much quicker. This goes for healing too, or rejuvenating, but it just is much faster. So the 2 steps forward and 1 step back happen in a much shorter period of time. You'll think you're just imagining things in the beginning. You might notice pain from that part of your body start to go away, but then it'll come back. Or you'll see that wrinkle start to smooth out a bit, but then it comes back. At this point, it's so important to not get discouraged, but to notice that it actually started working. It's going to go back and forth for as long as your thoughts and beliefs go back and forth. But once you get those thoughts and visualizations in alignment with those feelings of fulfillment and completion and gratitude, your manifestation is right around the corner. I urge you to test it out and not just listen to me or anyone else for that matter. Do the work and see if you get results, and you'll begin opening the portal to a whole other reality. So I hope this video helped give you somewhat of a guideline of what to expect when you're working on creating the life and dreams you deserve. If you like this video, please remember to drop a like, and if you haven't subscribed and would like to see more content like this, please hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell so you can be notified of upcoming videos. Again, my name's Jason. As always, I thank you for watching, and remember, guys, remember always that you are the change. I'll see you guys next time.